Okay, so the topic for today and the topic for discussion is P type of ATPSs. So the topic for today is P type of ATPS, that is the P type of hydrogen pump. Okay, so this is the diagram of P type of hydrogen pump. So this is the diagram of the P type of ATPSs. So in the given diagram you can see in the given diagram you can see that bilipid layer, okay, and the 10 transmembrane span. So in the given diagram you can see the bilipid layer and the 10 transmembrane span. Okay, so you can see the 10 transmembrane span. Okay, so this transmembrane span that I have denoted with the red dot. Okay, so the structure in the structure we can see basically bilipid layer and the transmembrane span. So now let's see the function of the P type of ATPSs. So as you know, the ATPSs it is a type of a transmembrane protein. Okay, so their function is basically to transport some or the other molecule. Okay, so in the previous video we have studied F type of ATPSs. So the P type of ATPSs are different from the F type of ATPSs. So the F type of ATPSs we studied, they basically produce ATP molecule. But here on the other hand, on the P type of ATPSs, we will utilize ATP molecule. Okay, for hydrogen transport, for the transport of hydrogen ion. So for the transport of hydrogen ion, what we will do, we will utilize ATP rather than forming ATP. Okay, so now let's see how this P type of ATPSs transport hydrogen ion. Okay, so this is a hydrogen ion. Okay, so let's see what happens. So this hydrogen ion basically binds to this transmembrane span. Okay, so they basically binds to the transmembrane span. So when the hydrogen ion binds to this transmembrane span, the ATPSs are basically in even conformation state. So they are basically at even conformational state. Okay, so when hydrogen ion binds to the transmembrane span or the ATPSs, they are in even state. Okay, but there is simultaneously a hydrolysis of ATP is also occurring. So after the hydrolysis of ATP, there is phosphorylation of this D region. So what is this D region? So this D region is basically aspartate. Okay, aspartate domain. Okay, the aspartate region of the aspartate domain. Okay, of this enzyme, aspartate region, aspartate amino acid. Okay, so phosphorylation of this aspartate domain aspartate region, okay, causes the conformational changes. Okay, so after this region is, let's say if this region is phosphorylated, okay, and this ATP is converted into ADP. Okay, this ATP is converted into ADP, and one of the phosphate is utilized in phosphorylation of this D region, basically the aspartate region. Okay, aspartate. Okay, so after the phosphorylation of this aspartate region, the ATPase, okay, this whole is the ATPase enzyme. Okay, this ATPase enzyme undergoes the conformational changes. So after doing the conformational changes, it from E1 state it comes to E2 state. Okay, from E1 to E2 state. Okay, so after phosphorylation of this aspartate region, this enzyme go conformational changes and forms the E2 state of the enzyme. So this E2 state of the enzyme, okay, has less affinity for the hydrogen ion. So as you know, this hydrogen ion is bind to this transmembrane span. Okay, but okay, it is bind tightly to this transmembrane span region. Okay, transmembrane span region. Okay, but after the E2 state, okay, after the conformational changes, okay, this in the E2 state, this enzyme has less affinity for the hydrogen ion, and hence hydrogen ions is released outside. Hence the hydrogen ion is released outside. Okay. So when the hydrogen ion is released outside, okay, this phosphorylated aspartate get dephosphorylated. Okay, this phosphorylated aspartate get dephosphorylated. So this dephosphorylation is done in this loop. Okay, this loop or this region. So this region comes in second or third transmembrane span. Okay, in between this second and third transmembrane span. So in this loop, okay, this loop is responsible for the dephosphorylation of this aspartate, okay, which was phosphorylated. So after the dephosphorylation of this region, okay, the the E2 state again come back to E1 state, and this is again ready for the okay. Now let's again understand. Okay, so again let's see what revise this how this transport of hydrogen ion again. So the hydrogen ion first binds to this transmembrane span, okay, and after it bind, okay, there is side by side hydrolysis of ATP, and after the hydrolysis of ATP, basically the phosphate ion, the phosphate gets attached to this aspartate region. That means there is a phosphorylation of aspartate residue. So after aspartate get phosphorylated, this whole enzyme undergoes the conformational changes. So that is from E1 state to it undergoes E2 state. So in E2 state, it has less affinity for the hydrogen ion, since due to which the hydrogen ion is released. Okay. So then this phosphorylated aspartate residue again get dephosphorylated in this region, the green region that is shown here, which lies between the second and third transmembrane span region. Okay. So after the dephosphorylation, this enzyme is again ready for the hydrogen ion transport. So this was all about the p-type of ATPase. Okay.